150 Years of Being Canadian. Manitoba. Manitoba, as it started out, was quite a large Cree nation. From the Ukraine they saw farmland and were quite filled with elation. Farms covered the entire south, a patchwork from the sky. Flax, barley, wheat, and every grain can be seen from driving by. Fields and rows with silos for the grain. Elevators then take it up and load it onto trains. Solar and wind farms would do well, though there doesn't seem to be many. Though farms of every other sort, like wheat, there are in plenty. Up in the northern areas, it's quite a different thing, with marsh and woods and lakes and streams, hunting and fishing. The fish is the walleye, and fishing is plenty because of two huge lakes, Manitoba and Lake Winnipeg, plus rivers that meander and snake. Where once the mighty buffalo roamed in great expansive herds, now there's cows and horse and grain crops. This past beast is just a word. But there's bison roaming in the fields, in lakes the waterfowl. It's home to playful prairie dogs and also the great gray owl. If you're checking out Canada's longitude, the center is Birds Hill Park. But be careful of the wildlife on highways after dark. If you're looking to see polar bears on the coast of Hudson Bay, in Cape Tannen and Wapas Park, you can find a wild display. Yellow brick in downtown Winnipeg are the buildings and homesteads. You'll find the forks of two rivers, the Assiniboine and Red. The Company of Hudson Bay, where Fort Garry stands today, human rights and arts museums, and casinos for your stay. A very famous street corner is called Portage in Maine. In this part of the downtown, it's a nice place to be staying. With Dauphin, Brandon, and Flin Flon, there are a few small cities. Though Flin Flon's on the border, they're all quite quaint and pretty. There's Pinawa, Pikwitane, named by a native tongue. The Pass, Verdun, and Carmen, some are old and some are young. The Jets, the newest hockey team, is what they like to view. Hockey's our nation's pastime. In winter, it's what we do. Manitobans are a hardy folk. It can drop down pretty cold. To tough prairie winds in wintertime, you have to be quite bold. Saskatchewan. Field upon field and farm after farm, an expanse of open sky, colorful tractors and combines, round straw bales piled high. Everyone's busy working hard, earning their daily bread, and literally I mean bread of wheat and other grains instead. How many colors of blue in the sky, and green upon green on the land, with wildflowers thrown in here and there, and grain the color of sand. In the sky there are many large healthy hawks. In the marsh there are birds of all kinds. The wetlands are quite wonderful, for birders there's many good finds. The night sky is outstanding with stars. If you're lucky, the northern lights. They will fill you with awe and make you feel small at such a spectacular sight. The sunset is spectacular. The colors fill every view. Trucks on the highway passing by, where they're going I haven't a clue. Trains seem to go on and on and on. Don't want to be stopped by one. Unless you like to be counting cars, now that would be loads of fun. Travel across Trans-Canada or up to the Yellowhead Trail. Hunt and fish in northern rivers and lakes, as long as you aren't very frail. In Regina and in Saskatoon, for things the locals grow, farmers' markets, meats, fruit, veggies do put on quite a show. Saskatoon has a very good berry pie they are quite famous for. In Lumsden, Capel Valley, they grow cherries and have wine galore. Harris has its orchards of fruit, Blaine Lake has German bread, and Rosetown has its petroglyphs and fossil beds instead. Moose Jaw has trolleys and murals in historical downtown. In Hepburn, the Museum of Wheat is a place to kick around. The Boreal Trail at Meadow Lake Park is a place that hikers find. Perdot and Bigger have brewed beer and local grown fruit wine. For 6,000 years, North Plain Indians have met in Winooskowan Park. Ukrainian and German farmers have also left their mark. Football is important. The Rough Riders the team. For those who love Saskatchewan, they wear the Rider green. Potash has been mined here and is quite a large resource. For fertilizer it is used, exported to all stores. Hunting, fishing, farming, and lakes, rivers, and plains. Saskatchewan's a prairie place, well known for growing grains. Alberta. It starts out as a prairie land with the Rockies at its edge. It had been our richest province from the oil that they dredge. It's the wild west of Canada with cowboys and cowgirls. If you like country music and riding bulls for thrills. If the cowboy is your thing, the Calgary Stampede is it. But if you like equestrian, Spruce Meadows is exquisite. If it's a job you're looking for, go up to Fort McMurray, or if your interest dinosaurs, Drumheller's where they're buried. Alberta has its badlands like mountains in reverse, and structures they call hoodoos, sandstone left when winds were worst. A humongous mall in Edmonton has rides and water parks, and Calgary's casinos you can stay out after dark. The Oilers hockey team's the nation's pastime at its best. For many years, Wayne Gretzky put this team top of the list. The ice fields have a parkway where glaciers can be seen, and the color of its Lake Louise, an amazing bluish green. Driving on the highway among the mountain towns, the beauty of the landscape leaves you utterly spellbound. With rivers and huge mountain peaks for great hiking and skiing, gorgeous lakes and waterfalls, the awesomeness we're seeing. Jasper is the largest park, though Banff it is much older. It's the oldest park in Canada, from back when us folks was bolder. With longhorn sheep and mountain goats and elk and bears and deer, if in summer you're a camper and in winter a good skier. Up in Cold Lake, Alberta, they have a pilot school. It's touted as the best on earth, top pilots are its rule. Imagine a huge crocheted egg, the very largest one. In Vergaville is where this is. To see it's kind of fun. There are wild roses everywhere. That's why this is the emblem. It makes the prairies beautiful to see the color of them. And also there are pelicans. Really? This far from the sea? If you look around in parks and ponds, that's where they like to be. I surely love Alberta. The people can't be beat. They're friendly, folksy, happy, fun. To be there is a treat. British Columbia. The capital, Victoria, is on an island reached by ferry. The gardens there are beautiful. The people, they are merry. On this island is Tofino, where surfing is a hoot. But beware of the cold ocean, wear a full-length wetsuit. Vancouver's a big city of bridges and islands, set down in a valley, surrounded by highlands. Stanley Park's amazing. There are tons of things to do, with ocean trails and picnic spots, an aquarium and zoo. For dining out that's authentic from cultures from Far East, check out restaurants in downtown if you want a sushi feast. They make a lot of movies there. It's come to be a thing. If you hope to be a film star and like to act or sing, at a sea-to-sky lookout over lovely Horseshoe Bay, a stellar place for sunset, can you see whales at play? In Squamish, the Chief is a very tough climb. View Pacific Ocean's inlet and forests of pine. BC has a rainforest, not the tropical kind. That's a home for bald eagles. If you look, you're sure to find. In summer, it is beautiful, although I have to say, wouldn't drive the Duffy Highway in the winter any day. If you want to keep on driving straight up north, I'd like to ask you, did you know you'd find the USA in a state they call Alaska? The Rockies provide us with great runs for boarders and skiers. Whistler has a quaint village serving après-ski beers. They hosted the Olympics, and in summer they have biking, a smattering of pretty lakes, zip-lining, and great hiking. And also there is Big White for when the winter's snowing, or in Panorama or Fernie, you can see where you are going. The Okanagan Valley is quite a hidden treasure. Orchards, vineyards, desert region, the climate is a pleasure. Fort Nelson in the north and the Great Fraser River. The rushing icy waters are sure to cause a shiver. There are many other places if travel is your yearning. Pembroke, Penticton, Kelowna, also Vernon. When driving, though the mountain towns are few and far between, you won't mind the distance because the views are quite pristine. BC has an atmosphere of magnificence and grace, where the mountains reach the ocean, so much rugged, untouched space.